It's a familiar feeling for many of us as we get a little older, isn't it? Maybe you feel it when you climb a flight of stairs, or when you stand up from a comfortable armchair, or even just walking across the room. That little bit of weakness, that feeling that your legs just aren't quite as strong or as steady as they used to be. It can be frustrating, even a little worrying. It's like your muscles, especially in your legs, are just fading away bit by bit. You might think it's just a natural part of getting older, something unavoidable. But what if I told you that some of the things you eat, especially the first thing you eat in the morning, could be making this problem a whole lot worse? That some common, seemingly innocent breakfast foods, particularly certain carbohydrates, are actively working against your leg muscles, making them weaker, slower to recover, and harder to build up. It's a painful reality to face. The idea that your daily routine might be sabotaging your strength and your independence without you even knowing it. But there's a secret that many people over 60 don't realize, and it involves changing just a few simple things about your morning meal. In this video, we're going to look at 3 specific breakfast carbohydrates that you might be eating right now that could be seriously undermining the strength in your legs. We'll talk about why they're so damaging and what you can choose instead to help protect and even build those crucial leg muscles. You might be surprised at what made the list. So, make sure you watch all the way to the end, because there's something I'm going to share that might truly shock you about the impact of these foods. Now, let's dive into the first of these sneaky breakfast culprits that could be weakening your leg muscles. We're talking about those bright, colorful boxes of cereal that line the supermarket aisles. The ones often marketed with promises of being heart-healthy or packed with vitamins. I'm referring to the highly processed, often sugary breakfast cereals, especially those made primarily from refined grains like corn, rice, or wheat, that have very little fiber and are loaded with added sugar. You know the kind. They get soggy in milk almost instantly, you might think. What's the harm? It's just cereal. But for someone over 60, regularly starting the day with these can be surprisingly detrimental to your leg muscle health. Here's why. When you eat a bowl of this type of processed, sugary cereal, it's like sending a massive, rapid wave of sugar directly into your bloodstream, because there's so little fiber and protein to slow things down. Your body digests these carbs incredibly quickly. This causes a sharp spike in your blood sugar levels. In response, your pancreas has to pump out a large amount of insulin. Insulin's main job is to get that sugar out of your blood and into your cells for energy or storage. But constant, large spikes in blood sugar and the resulting insulin surges are problematic, especially as we age, over time. And this is key for muscle health. Frequent high insulin levels can make your cells less responsive to insulin. This is called insulin resistance. When your cells become resistant to insulin, it doesn't just affect how your body handles sugar. It also impacts other crucial processes, including muscle protein synthesis. Muscle protein synthesis is the process by which your body repairs and builds new muscle tissue. It's happening all the time, but it's particularly important after you've been active or when you consume protein. Insulin, believe it or not, plays a role in signaling muscle cells to take up nutrients like amino acids, the building blocks of protein, to repair and grow. However, when insulin signaling is impaired due to resistance, this process becomes less efficient. Your muscles don't receive the signals or the building blocks they need as effectively. Think of it like this. Your leg muscles are constantly undergoing tiny bits of wear and tear, especially if you're staying active, which is so important. They need to be able to repair themselves efficiently to stay strong and not waste away. Eating these sugary, processed cereals for breakfast regularly puts your body into a state where it's harder for that repair and building process to happen properly. It's like trying to fix a leaky pipe, but the tools aren't working quite right because of all the sugar flooding the system. Instead of using the nutrients you eat to build and maintain muscle, your body is constantly battling these blood sugar highs and lows. Furthermore, chronic high blood sugar and insulin resistance contribute to increased inflammation in the body. Inflammation is your body's response to stress or injury, but chronic low-grade inflammation, often fueled by poor diet, is like a smoldering fire that damages tissues over time. This chronic inflammation can further impair muscle function and contribute to muscle loss. It makes it harder for muscles to recover after even simple activities like walking or standing for periods. That feeling of your legs tiring quickly, or taking longer to bounce back after a busy day. Those processed cereals might be contributing to that inflammatory state that hinders recovery. So, what does this look like in real life? Imagine someone who starts their day with a big bowl of a popular cornflake or puffed rice cereal with milk and maybe a little extra sugar on top. By mid-morning, they might experience a sugar crash, feeling tired and maybe even a bit shaky. Their body spent the earlier part of the morning dealing with that sugar spike instead of being in a state conducive to muscle repair from perhaps the previous day's walk or activities. If this happens every single morning, week after week, month after month, the cumulative effect on their leg muscles can be significant. They might notice it's harder to push off when getting out of a chair, or that going upstairs feels much more taxing than it used to. It's not just about the energy boost or crash. It's about the underlying metabolic disruption that directly impacts muscle health over time. Replacing this simple choice can make a world of difference. Instead of a bowl of sugary flakes, imagine starting with something like scrambled eggs and maybe a small portion of avocado, or Greek yogurt with a few berries and some nuts. These meals are rich in protein and healthy fats, with minimal quickly digestible carbs. They provide sustained energy without the dramatic blood sugar spike. And they give your body the essential building blocks, protein, that your muscles desperately need to repair and stay strong. Making this switch for breakfast is a simple yet powerful strategy to stop unknowingly harming your leg muscles each morning and start supporting their health instead. It's a foundational change that sets the tone for the rest of your day and its impact on your body's ability to maintain strength. Now that we've talked about the dangers of those sugary, processed cereals for your leg strength, let's move on to another very common breakfast carb that many people over 60 rely on without realizing the harm it might be doing. This one is a staple in many homes, often seen as a quick and easy option, especially when paired with butter or jam. I'm talking about white bread, bagels, croissants, muffins, and other pastries made primarily from refined white flour. You might have a couple of slices of toast, a bagel with cream cheese, or perhaps grab a muffin because you think it's a convenient choice. While they might fill you up temporarily, their impact on your leg muscles is surprisingly negative, and for reasons quite similar to our first culprit, but with a slightly different angle on the lack of beneficial components. Just like the sugary cereals, foods made from refined white flour are quickly broken down by your body into glucose, leading to a rapid rise in blood sugar. The refining process strips away most of the fiber, vitamins, and minerals that are present in the whole grain. Fiber is crucial because it helps slow down the digestion of carbohydrates, preventing that sharp blood sugar spike and the subsequent insulin rush. Without that fiber, the carbs hit your system hard and fast. We already discussed how these frequent spikes and insulin surges can contribute to insulin resistance and hinder muscle protein synthesis. Your leg muscles need a steady supply of energy and building blocks, not these dramatic metabolic swings that make it harder for them to utilize nutrients effectively. But beyond the blood sugar issue, the lack of fiber in these refined flour products means they don't provide the sustained energy that your muscles need, nor do they contribute to overall metabolic health in the way whole, unprocessed foods do. When you eat white toast or a muffin, you might feel full for a short while, but the energy provided is fleeting. More importantly, these foods are often lacking in significant amounts of protein, which is the absolute critical nutrient for maintaining and building muscle mass. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at using dietary protein to build muscle, a phenomenon called anabolic resistance. This means we actually need more protein than younger adults to achieve the same muscle-building effect. Starting your day with a meal dominated by refined carbs and very little protein is a missed opportunity. And worse, it creates a metabolic environment that makes it harder for your body to use the protein you do consume later in the day, effectively for muscle repair in your legs and elsewhere. Imagine relying on white toast and jam every morning. You're getting a quick burst of easily digestible carbs, but almost no protein and very little fiber. Your blood sugar goes up, then likely comes down fairly quickly, leaving you feeling hungry or low on energy. Meanwhile, your leg muscles, which perhaps need to recover from that gardening you did yesterday or prepare you for your afternoon walk, aren't receiving the protein they need to repair and strengthen. The inflammatory effect we discussed with sugary cereals is also at play here. Diets high in refined grains are often linked to increased systemic inflammation, further impairing muscle health and recovery. Think about the practical impact. If your legs feel weak or tired, you might be less inclined to go for that walk, climb those stairs, or engage in activities that require leg strength. It becomes a vicious cycle. Eating foods that undermine muscle health leads to weaker muscles, which leads to reduced activity, which further contributes to muscle loss. That seemingly harmless breakfast of white toast is contributing to this decline, making it harder to maintain the strength needed for everyday tasks, like getting up from a low chair or having the stamina to walk around the shops. What's a better option if you enjoy bread or grains in the morning? Look for true whole grain options. Bread where the first ingredient is a whole grain like whole wheat flour or whole oats, and ideally with a decent amount of fiber listed on the nutrition label. Even better, pair that whole grain with a good source of protein and healthy fat. For example, a slice of whole grain toast with scrambled eggs or some almond butter, or swap the refined bread entirely for something like oatmeal made with whole oats, not instant mixed with protein powder or nuts, or a breakfast hash with vegetables and a protein source like sausage or beans. The key is to shift away from easily digestible, nutrient-poor refined carbs towards options that provide fiber, sustain energy, and most importantly, contribute substantial protein to kickstart your muscle repair process for the day. Making this change helps create a metabolic environment that supports, rather than hinders, the strength and vitality of your leg muscles. So we've talked about sugary processed cereals and refined white flour products like toast and pastries. Now, let's look at the third breakfast carb that might be quietly working against your leg muscles. A culprit that often masquerades as a healthy choice. I'm referring to fruit juice. A glass of orange juice, apple juice, or grape juice is a common part of breakfast for many, perhaps viewed as a convenient way to get some vitamins. However, when it comes to muscle health, particularly for those over 60, fruit juice is problematic because it delivers a concentrated dose of sugar without the beneficial fiber that you'd get from eating the whole fruit. Think about it: to make 1 glass of orange juice, you need to squeeze several oranges. You get all the natural sugars from those oranges, but you lose most of the fiber, which is left behind in the pulp. When you eat a whole orange, the fiber helps slow down the absorption of the sugar into your bloodstream. This results in a more gradual rise in blood sugar. But when you drink juice, that concentrated sugar hits your bloodstream almost instantly, leading to a rapid and significant blood sugar spike, much like eating sugary cereal or white bread. As we've discussed, these frequent, sharp blood sugar spikes and the resulting insulin surges are detrimental to muscle health over time. They contribute to insulin resistance, making it harder for your muscles to efficiently take up nutrients, including the amino acids needed for repair and growth. This impaired metabolic signaling hinders the crucial process of muscle protein synthesis, which is already less efficient in older adults due to anabolic resistance. Essentially, drinking fruit juice regularly makes it harder for your body to use the protein you consume throughout the day to maintain and build the strength in your legs that you need. Beyond the blood sugar roller coaster, fruit juice is essentially empty calories from a muscle health perspective. It provides calories from sugar but lacks significant amounts of protein or healthy fats, both of which are vital for muscle support. While it contains some vitamins, You can easily get these from eating whole fruits or vegetables without the massive sugar load. Drinking juice means you're filling up on a liquid that doesn't contribute the necessary building blocks for muscle strength, and in fact, creates a metabolic state that works against muscle maintenance. Consider someone who has a piece of whole grain toast with butter and a large glass of orange juice for breakfast. While the toast is a bit better than white bread, the juice adds a significant amount of quickly absorbed sugar to the meal, amplifying the blood sugar spike. They might feel a quick energy boost, but it's followed by a crash. And the overall impact on their ability to build and maintain muscle is negative because of the metabolic stress caused by that sugar load. Their leg muscles aren't getting the steady supply of energy and building blocks they need. Instead, the body is busy processing excess sugar. This can manifest in feeling weaker in the legs, less stable, or finding simple movements like getting up from a chair requiring more effort than it should. It's the cumulative effect of regularly starting the day with foods and drinks that cause these metabolic disturbances. Your leg muscles, which are constantly working to support you, are being shortchanged on the resources they need for repair and strength, while simultaneously being subjected to conditions like high blood sugar and inflammation that actively hinder their health. What's the alternative? It's simple: eat the whole fruit instead of drinking the juice. A whole orange provides the same vitamins as a glass of juice, but the fiber significantly slows down sugar absorption, leading to a much gentler rise in blood sugar. The fiber also helps you feel fuller and contributes to better digestive health, which is linked to overall well-being and nutrient absorption. Even better, pair that whole fruit with a protein source. For example, have a small bowl of berries with Greek yogurt, or a piece of fruit with a handful of nuts. This combination provides vitamins, fiber, healthy fats, and essential protein, creating a breakfast that supports stable energy levels and provides the necessary building blocks for your leg muscles to stay strong and healthy. Choosing whole fruit over juice is another powerful step you can take each morning to stop undermining your leg strength and start supporting your body's ability to maintain vitality and independence. So, we've talked about 3 specific types of breakfast carbohydrates: those highly processed, sugary cereals, refined white flour products like toast and pastries, and fruit juice. That can be surprisingly damaging to your leg muscle strength as you get older. The common thread here is how quickly they're digested, leading to rapid blood sugar spikes and insulin surges. Over time, this pattern contributes to insulin resistance and increased inflammation, both of which significantly hinder your body's ability to repair and build muscle tissue, a process that's already less efficient as we age. Choosing these foods regularly for breakfast essentially creates a metabolic environment that makes it harder for your leg muscles to stay strong, recover, and maintain their mass. It's like trying to run a car on fuel that makes the engine sputter and seize up instead of run smoothly and powerfully. Facing the reality that some of your favorite or go-to breakfast items might be working against your body can feel a bit discouraging at first. But please, don't feel overwhelmed or defeated by this information. Think of it as powerful knowledge that gives you control. This isn't about being perfect or drastically changing everything overnight. It's about understanding the impact of your choices and making small, informed adjustments that can have a significant positive effect over time. You don't have to give up carbs entirely. Not at all. The key is to choose the right kind of carbohydrates, those that are high in fiber, found in whole, unprocessed foods, and importantly, to pair them with adequate protein. Remember that feeling we talked about at the beginning? That feeling of your legs not being as strong, struggling with stairs, or feeling less steady. Making conscious choices about your breakfast carbs, avoiding the processed sugars, refined flours, and fruit juices we discussed, and opting instead for breakfasts rich in protein, healthy fats, and fiber from whole foods can directly impact that feeling. When you nourish your body with the right building blocks and create a stable metabolic environment, your muscles have a much better chance of repairing themselves, maintaining their mass, and staying strong. And this is where the surprise comes in that I mentioned at the beginning. The surprise isn't some magic pill or complicated exercise routine. The real surprise is how much of a difference these seemingly small changes to your breakfast can make in how you feel and how your legs perform. People who switch from these detrimental carbs to protein-rich breakfasts often report feeling more stable, having more sustained energy throughout the morning without the crash, and noticing that everyday tasks requiring leg strength feel easier. The surprise is realizing that you have more power than you might have thought to influence your physical strength and independence simply by changing that very first meal of the day. It's the unexpected return of confidence in your own body, the ability to navigate your home and your world with greater ease and stability. That's the truly wonderful surprise, reclaiming that sense of capability. So, I encourage you to think about what you typically have for breakfast. Are any of these three culprits making a regular appearance? Could you try swapping out just one of them for a week and see how you feel? Maybe swap the sugary cereal for Greek yogurt, or the white toast for eggs, or the glass of juice for a whole piece of fruit eaten alongside a protein source. Small steps lead to big changes. Your leg muscles are crucial for your independence, your mobility, and your ability to enjoy life to the fullest. Giving them the best start to the day is one of the kindest things you can do for yourself. I'd love to hear about your breakfast habits, or if you decide to try making a change based on what we've discussed. Sharing your experience can inspire others in our community, so please feel free to leave a comment below. What's one small swap you feel you could make this week? If you found this information helpful and empowering, please give this video a like. It helps us know we're providing valuable content for you, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing to our channel. We share regular tips and insights specifically for those of us navigating the joys and challenges of being over 60, focusing on how to stay strong, healthy, and vibrant. Remember, age is just a number, but your strength and vitality are things you can actively cultivate. Making smart choices about what you eat, starting with that crucial first meal of the day, is a powerful way to support your body and ensure your legs stay strong enough to carry you through all the wonderful experiences life has to offer. Live your best life at every age.